I made $40,000 in 6 weeks, but here's the kicker, I still cannot drive a car. And speaking of driving cars, right, I get this question a lot. How do you stay driven when things aren't bad enough to make you want to change, but they're not good enough to make you happy either, right? How do you push through when you're frustrated yet too comfortable to take action? Yeah, that's a tough one, right? It's like being in limbo. You know you want more, but you're not at rock bottom yet, where you pretty much have no choice to act, right? You either become, tragedy happens, you either become the villain or the hero. You choose. They all have tragic beginnings. Now, if you don't have a tragic beginning, you're comfortable. You're in limbo. You don't really know what to do. And I was there too, right? I was caught up between wanting to change, but not knowing where to start and not feeling enough urgency to push through, right? We always have time, or we get told that we have time, right? Have you been there? I've been there. And you know you could be doing more, but the comfort of your current situation lulls into procrastination, right? And that's when life sort of slapped me in the face. It wasn't until I lost my granddad, right? Good old granddad, whereby I really realized how much time we had left, which was none, right? I was carrying his casket, and I finally understood the urgency of life, right? The moment I realized how little time I had left, the clock was ticking. I knew something had to change, and that's when I stepped up. It wasn't about getting by anymore. It was about truly stepping up. I had to be the man. I had to be the provider. I said to my dad, we're going through a transitionary phase. You're going to become granddad, and I'm going to have to become dad. And this was during the time where I started watching good old Alex Hormozy, and I remember sitting down at a family meal, no job, just fresh graduate from university, and I said to them, we're going to make generational wealth. And they laughed and told me to get not one job, but 3 jobs, just to even pay for my living. And I was very fortunate. They looked after me. They were tough on me, but it was through that pain that truly made me transform. It was the anger, and it was the pain, and it was the suffering of my unfulfilled potential, and the anger I had out on the world, on my family, on my friends, on how perfect everyone's life seemed to be. I deleted social media. I got rid of Instagram, got rid of anything that made it. I stopped watching YouTube. I started seeing all these fucking fancy lifestyles, and you just pissed me off, so I got rid of it, right? And I'm not saying, right, making 40K in 6 weeks, sitting back, it's not like I actually sat back and was like, oh God, or oh please send me that $40,000. No, it was actual work. I didn't sit back waiting for things to magically change. I actually learned something. I learned a new skill. I stopped being complacent. I stopped being comfortable, right? Making I remember sitting stuck in a lift for an hour after my last medical school rejection. I applied for med school, didn't get in for 2 years. And I was just thinking, why am I letting other people control my life? Whether it's an acceptance or a rejection letter from a job or an interview. Why am I waiting for someone to decide how good I am? Can I not just do that myself? So we did, right? We did. And I visualized my future, right? This is this is my future. We visualized it. We put in the work, right? And it's it truly is an absolute game changer. And though I've got friends who've surpassed me in certain areas, they drive the best cars, they have prestigious jobs, or they can bench press more than me, whatever. But you know what? I'm not necessarily chasing that anymore. I'm not playing the same game. The game is about building something that lasts. I used to say to my friends at the gym, oh, I need to study. I'm going to the brain gym, not the physical gym, because I was I was a personal trainer for a bit as well. And my game now is about building something that lasts. It's revenue, it's skills, it's freedom. It's a longer journey, but one that matters more, right? And I'm not there yet. I'm not where I want to be yet. A big goal of mine this year is hitting $100,000 in cash in a single month. Sounds pretty freaking nuts if you told me that a couple years ago, but it's not about the money necessarily. It's about what that money represents, right? It's about the freedom. It's about the security. It's about having the ability to give back to my family, to the people I love. And, you know, like I said, just a few years ago, I was broke. Just got a degree. My parents laughed at me for even considering making generational wealth. And just yesterday, I was invited to speak at this, you know, this company's, the company that I've been working for and coaching people on. And I'm going to be presenting something. They think I'm an expert. They've not, you know, caught on yet, right? You know, like, how insane is that? Yeah, it's insane. And it was only 2-3 years ago when I just signed up and got into this world and of high level and marketing and sales, and I truly like $40,000 in 6 weeks, and you know, like, so much can change. So much can change if you just decide to step up, right? Decide to step up, decide to grow up, decide, you know, your bloodline needs a better version of you, right? What are you specifically doing with your time? Are you visualizing your future, right? Are you focusing? Are you a leader, right? Are you putting in the inputs, right, rather than just the outputs? The outputs is the result of the inputs, which is energy and time, whether it's you or your staff or whoever it is, right? Are you doing these things, right? Or are you, there you go, doing things that aren't a great investment of your time? Are you hanging out with wrong people, drugs? Are you doing side hustles, guys? Side hustles. Side hustles a huge waste of time. $100,000 in debt per hour. Like, you should just go all in. Junk food, alcohol, partying, gambling, literally. Cleaning, $10 an hour. Like, this is a $10 per hour job. Lead sourcing, email outreach, Loom recording, you know, cold calling, YouTube thumbnails, video editing. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, are you doing the $1,000, $10,000, $100,000, $1 million per hour work every single day to get you to that point? And, you know, if I was, I'd be making a lot more money. I'm not doing it. I'm still trying to be better, and that's what I mentioned to you guys earlier. But, like, make the first step. Make the first step. The grind is here. And if you're in the grind right now, feeling stuck but not really, like, ready to push forward, ask yourself, what's your focus, right? Are you chasing these temporary things every now and then? Or are you stepping up and creating something that lasts, something that matters, and something that, you know, will change? So it's never too late to change the course of your life. Don't wait for discomfort to drive you. Start now. Thanks.